it's a good day at Pop's Place, and I hope it's a good day where you are too. I want to thank you for dropping by. On this wonderful rainy day, we're going to put together something that I had already mentioned and that I'm just now coming back to, but we're still trying to get those boot camp pies out there. So I'm putting together one of my grandma's pecan pies today. She made just an amazing pie, and it was always good, always mouth-watering, delicious, and I have all the stuff. We're going to put it together in just a few minutes. I want to thank you for dropping into Pop's Place, and thank you for liking and subscribing, because that's really helping us out. Our subscriber base is growing, and that's exactly what we're after. Just more than anything, not so that you watch movies, but we want to build a community here where we can communicate and share ideas and just really jump in there and share some experiences together. I hope you'll join us in that. If you haven't done it, go find Pop's Place on Facebook. I'll throw the link into the description below. You can go and check out Pop's Place on Facebook. I also have a website, popsplace.life, you can check out. And more recipes are going up on my Etsy store, so you definitely want to take advantage of that. I want to hear from you. It's really great seeing every one of you, and thank you for all of those that have jumped in. In just a moment, we're going to go right to our ingredients and get started on this amazing pecan pie that my grandma used to make. Pecan pie ingredients. Okay, so if you're going to need a pecan pie, you're going to need a pie shell. So we will roll out some pie dough, make a pie shell in this pan. I've got my pie dough already made up, and if you remember, I made pie dough like last week. This is still really good, and it's still a perfect pie crust. It keeps up to a week in the fridge. So we'll use that today to roll out our pie dough and make our pie crust for our pecan pie. You need a cup of pecans. You need a cup of Karo syrup. You need about 3 teaspoons of sugar. You'll need about a 1/4 cup of butter, 1 egg, and some vanilla, about a teaspoon of vanilla. And we'll jump in there and we'll put all of this together. Doesn't take very long, but boy, does it make an amazing pie, and I can't wait to show you. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna roll out our pie dough. And this has been in the fridge, so it's nice and stiff, and this is still beautiful. I made this pie dough about a week ago. If you haven't checked out that recipe, really super easy. For those of you that have never really worked with homemade pie dough before, just acquaint yourself with the idea that it's a practice that you have to kind of get into and learn. Takes a little bit of time. You will find that pie dough sticks to your rolling pin a little bit. Not a big deal. But basically what we're doing is we're trying to roll out a piece of pie crust that is large enough to fill our pie pan. We'll trim off any excess, and then we'll fill that pie crust with the beautiful filling for this pie. Ah, look at me there, tearing it up because it's stuck to my rolling pin. But again, when you're making homemade pie crust, it's very forgiving. You just Band-Aid it together, push it back together, roll it out again. Oh, look, and I did it twice. Doesn't matter. Again, this is a very forgiving medium, and that's exactly what you're after. Don't let it freak you out when something tears or messes up a little bit. Not too big a deal. I want it thin. You know, you don't want a pie that's all crust, but by the same token, you want it to be substantial enough that it, you know, is a crust. So, all right, so I'm lifting this up with the rolling pin. I use the rolling pin as a help. Now, if you'll notice, that completely tore up, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix it. Super duper easy. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go around, lift the edges of this pie crust so that I can let any air pockets out, and just make sure there are no air pockets anywhere around on this crust. Now I've got this huge gaping hole, and what am I going to do about that? Let me just tell you, all you have to do is pick up a piece, that remnant of the pie crust. Basically, all we're doing is just making sure that there are no exposed areas of the pan. Band-Aid it together, and this is going to be inside the filling, so it really isn't going to matter. It's just a super duper simple process once you kind of get get the hang of it. So now I'm going to go around the edge, and I want to make sure I leave enough of that crust so I can do something decorative. Now, I will tell you, for Thanksgiving pies, a lot of times what I will do is I will roll out pie dough and use very small cookie cutters, like, leaves or acorns or that kind of thing. Probably 1 or 2 inch cookie cutters, and just cut little shapes out of my pie dough, and then put them on things like the pumpkin pie. You can use little pumpkins as well. So super cute. You see all this leftover pie dough we have. You can just roll that out, cut some shapes out of it, and it's beautiful. So, all right, that's rolling the pies. You're going to use 2 finger or your finger and thumb of one hand, whichever is your least dominant hand. That will become the bird's mouth. Your thumb of your dominant hand will become the presser. And as you go around the pie, you'll use the bird's mouth to help you shape. Now, don't push down too hard, or you will, of course, mess up the crust. And basically, you're going to do this all the way around the pie. Here we go. And just like that, I think we're good right there. We're just going to make that do what it needs to do. So, if you'll notice, that's the way we flute the edge of a pie crust. Super easy, and makes a lovely presentation for your Thanksgiving table. If you did nothing else but this, it looks great. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put about a tablespoon, probably, between 3 teaspoons and a tablespoon of granulated sugar. And I've got this wonderful 1/4 cup of melted butter, which I will put inside of there, and just let my mixer do its thing for a second. All right, just to kind of give it a whiz. Then we're going to add a cup of Karo syrup. I had done a particularly heavy day of shopping one day when I bought this Karo syrup, light Karo syrup, by the way. And the young man who bagged my groceries at the grocery store put several of the bags under the cart. And so I go to the car and I unload the cart into my trunk and get in my car and begin to drive, and I look, and there's a bottle of Karo syrup laying in the parking lot. I'm like, what? And then I realized it probably fell out from under my cart, and sure enough, when I checked my groceries, I was missing that bottle of Karo syrup, but I picked it up, and so we're actually using parking lot Karo syrup today. That's sexy, don't you think? All right, so I've got my Karo in there with the butter. Allow it to mix just a little bit. Very nice. Okay. Now with the egg, I do not ever crack an egg like right into my mixture, because if that egg just happened to be bad, you're going to ruin your mixture. So I'm going to put that egg in there. Looks really good. All right. One thing I did not mention was I do generally put a tablespoon of flour into this, just to make sure that it sets up well. And of course, we don't want to go crazy with this. You don't need a lot. I'm not going to do a heaping tablespoon of flour, but I am going to do that tablespoon of flour and mix it in. And scrape down those sides. Nice. I always want to scrape down the sides of one of these stand mixers. They're not always the best at getting all the sides of the bowls, but had this one for 20 years. Not going to change anytime soon. And finally, I'm going to do about a teaspoon of my homemade vanilla. Oh, so good. All right, that might have been more than a teaspoon, and right now I don't even care. So, here we go. Okay, I'll probably fast forward through a lot of that so you don't have to listen to mixer noise, because ain't nothing fun about mixer noise for sure. But how do you assemble this amazing, simple pie? Super easy. Here's your pecans. I like to sprinkle them evenly into the bottom of the pie crust. And then I come back along with my filling. Those pecans will float to the surface in the top of that pie, and it's just great. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape the inside of that bowl so that all of that goodness gets into that pie crust. Now my oven is at temperature. That was that signal. I've heated my oven to 450 degrees. 450 degrees is where you're going to start this pie for about 10 minutes. After that, we're going to turn that back down to 325, and then we're going to bake for another half hour to 35 minutes just to let that pie set up and do what it's supposed to do. It's going to be really good. I can't wait to share it with you. So I'm going to get this in the oven. When we come back, we'll take a look at the finished product.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Okay, so we have a pecan pie. And I'm not joking when I tell you, honey, this is cute. You know, pecans don't cut up real easy, but I'm gonna tell you, this is what I'm talking about when I say pecan pie right here. This is so amazing. Oh my goodness. You know, I love old recipes because as long as the old recipes stick around, the people that we care about keep on going. And that's important. And knowing that the goodness that my grandmother brought to Thanksgiving is right here in this amazing pie. Oh. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is so good. So good. Oh my. Do I dare eat another bite in front of you? Because you know that's how I am. Yes. Okay. So that is pecan pie. And I'm going to tell you, it's phenomenal. It is so good. You ought to give it a try. It's super easy. It's not hard to make. You can do it. Even if you use a store-bought crust, use these ingredients. You can create an amazing pie that's really good and that you can enjoy. So thank everybody for stopping by and for being with me here at Pop's Place today. It has been a lot of fun. We're enjoying ourselves, cooking through the holidays. Know what I mean? Just in this recipe and that recipe, the next one that I'm gonna make, I'm gonna try to do it coming into the weekend, pumpkin pie. Nothing better for Thanksgiving than a good pumpkin pie. Even going into the Christmas season, I don't mind pumpkin pie. It's really good. After that, the one that everybody has been asking me these questions like, what is a water pie? I'm going to tell you, it's a depression recipe and it's fabulous and it will stupefy you. Do you know what I'm saying? Stupefy you. It will be like, what? Wow. Okay, so those are coming up. I'm also, and I thought I was going to do it before Thanksgiving. I think I'm probably going to do it after Thanksgiving. I want to use leftover turkey from my Thanksgiving dinner, and we're going to do a turkey pot pie. Find those ways to use that leftover turkey because honestly, every year at Thanksgiving, we buy this huge turkey and we cook it and we make a great Thanksgiving dinner. But we want to use that turkey meat. So that's where you can literally debone that turkey and put that turkey meat in the freezer or in the fridge and then use that for a turkey pot pie. And I'll use the same pie crust recipe. We'll mix it up. We'll make a couple of those and it'll just be great. It'll be amazing. Thanks for coming to Pop's Place. I'm so glad you stopped by. I appreciate everybody that is liking and subscribing. I did want to remind you, I am at 175 subscribers right now, which is so awesome. I'm so thankful because literally, 45 days ago, I was at 50 subscribers and they were just friends that were just looky-loos, curious, looking back on my crazy. So all of you that have joined in, it's because of the cooking and the Pop's Place recipes and all of that. And I'm so grateful that you joined in, that you've stopped in, and that you've made Pop's Place a place you want to hang out because that makes me happy. We're building a community and we definitely want you to be a part of it, not just to watch videos, but chime in, give me a comment, let me know what you think, make some suggestions. Maybe I'll make something you want to make or want me to make. So definitely do that. Chime in, like and subscribe. Let us know that you're around. When I get to 250 subscribers, I've already said this, I have this red cooking pot. It's pretty much in the background of everything that I cook. It's right there. It is. You see it? It's a big cast iron, ceramic coated cast iron Dutch oven that my daughter bought for me for Christmas a few years ago. I've had these before. They're awesome, but I will tell you this. This one has lasted me so well. The finish inside has not gotten stained or tarnished or scratched. It's beautiful. And it's from Amazon. No, it's not Le Creuset or anything like that. But they have them in red, white, blue, green. And I've said when I get to 250 subscribers, I'm going to use one of those random generator, picks one of your subscribers. It's going to pick one of you out. And I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to send you one of those cook pots. So you definitely want to put yourself in the ring for that. Definitely subscribe, like, add me to your playlist so that you always see what's going on. Hit that notification bell as well so you'll always know when new content is uploaded, when something new is happening at Pop's Place. Thanks again. We're going to talk to you soon. I'll be back in a couple of days. We're going to make some pumpkin pie. It's going to be delicious. Them bags under my eyes should be stamped Samsonite, I think. Probably.